Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in for another episode of FGA today. I wanted to take you along for the first flight on the Kangoo Phoenix. So this is one of their newest models and kind of wanted to share some first impressions. Some good, some bad. So hope you like it. Come along for the ride. Right. So this is the Kangoo Phoenix. This one is set up, it's a brand new paramotor with a Moster 185. We got the carbon fiber prop, and this is the Moster Plus, so it means it has the clutch on it. And this flight was my first one kind of on this configuration. So what I really like about this is the full enclosure of the netting. It goes all the way around. This one still comes apart in the 3 sections like all of the other frames do, but with this one in particular, it's got the netting that goes all the way around, which I've learned is really valuable to have. So it's kind of one reason why it's my new favorite. They've kind of done an innovation past the Velcro, so we got some clip-on snaps for the cage pieces here. Now, when we're looking at the motor, this is like I said, the Moster 185. Vitorazzi's done some really good innovation, and they're always trying to make things better. And so what I've learned just through some of the research is they're doing a lot of modifications to these carburetors. So there's still the Walbro carb, but they spend a lot of hours just doing some in-factory modifications, which so far in my experience has helped these machines run way better. So it's a thumbs up for what they're doing to make these run better. I would really like to see it. If anybody from the magic world of Vitorazzi is watching, I'd like to see some fuel injection as an option for these motors. I think that would really benefit things. I know that it's more expensive and it's a little bit more heavier, but realistically, like, fuel injection in these would really help us out. So hey, if you're listening, on the first flight, what I really noticed with these motors is the smooth throttle control. I've been flying Polini motors for a lot of years, and now that I've done a good handful of flights on the Vitorazzi, I'm kind of becoming a fan, just because you can bring these motors down to an idle. They run nice and smooth, and then it's just a nice steady throttle in that just has a smooth range that allows for really comfortable and nice worry-free flying. And so anybody that's had experience with motors that cause you issue, I don't know, like, this really provides a good level of comfort so far with my experience. This is the first time that I've flown with the Vitorazzi V throttle. I actually don't mind it. It's very comfortable in your hand, and it has a good throttle range to it. Very similar to the Polini throttles. The only thing that I don't necessarily like is like the location of the kill switch is very good. It's convenient, but I can see that there might be a chance that you could accidentally push that and just cause an engine out when you didn't want it to happen. So just foods for thought. I find that in these first few flights with this motor is that it reaches a max RPM of about 8,500, so a little higher than what my experience has been with some other engines. But it's very good. I found that to maintain a cruise altitude, it's around 5,000 RPM, and that's for me at 200 pounds with a 31 meter wing, flying at 3,000 feet. But there's a bunch of different factors that come into play depending. That's going to change that, but just to give guys a ballpark, and that's with a 130 centimeter prop. One thing that I do really like about this throttle is Vitorazzi has incorporated the ground into the bracket of the carburetor, and so there's only one wire that comes out of the throttle itself and hooks up to the coil right here. So when these motors are vibrating over time, these wires can just break due to the vibration. So there's only one wire here instead of two, so I see that as a benefit. The starter on these is, in my view, way better than the flash starter on the Polini engines. So shout out to them. Like, these things start really easy, and so that's another reason why I'm a big fan. Like, I've been flying these Polinis for a long time, and with these newer flash starters, I just have a bitch of a time starting it on my back. I find I have to ground start them, get them nice and warmed up, and then I can start it on my back. But with these pull starts, it's like one, maybe two pulls, nice and easy, and they start like a dream. So love that. One thing that I don't like, and Vitorazzi, if you're listening, so they offer these motors in the E-Start, but they don't sell E-Start throttles. So that makes no sense to me. So you're going to offer a paramotor with an electric start, but you don't sell the throttles that are going to get it going. So most guys are using the Polini throttles, so they have buttons to push on the lower part of the throttle that'll engage the electric starter, whereas Vitorazzi doesn't have that. So if you guys are listening, like, come on, man, really? So I mentioned I'm a big fan of this cage. It's a single hoop, which still leaves the prop on the outside of the cage, but once you're beyond beginner, it's not an issue. Like, they're very sturdy, very solid, and even for powered forward launches, there's lots of clearance here that your prop is not going to hit the cage, so it's good. Also, the weight shift is, I'm really, I've done probably 100 or so flights on weight shift now, and it's my preference. It's a lot more comfortable in seat. It's a lot more comfortable and kiting on the ground, and I like it a lot. So I'm slowly kind of changing my own personal preference and what I like in a paramotor, and the weight shift is definitely a benefit. So overall on this first flight, I would give this motor like a 8.5 out of 10. It runs great, nice smooth throttle control, tons of power. So far I haven't seen any disadvantage. We've seen reports online that the mufflers are cracking, so I would say, if anything, that is one innovation that Polini has done a little better than Vitorazzi, is because they've put in rubber mounts in here to absorb the vibration of the motor. So knock on wood, so far these, I haven't had any issues with mufflers cracking, but it has been an identified problem, and hopefully they're going to resolve that with either redesigning the muffler, which I've seen in some of the new editions. They've got some 3-piece muffler designs that are coming out, so hopefully that'll improve things, along with some rubber mountings which will absorb the vibration from the engine to lessen the muffler cracks. So overall, super happy with the first impressions of this paramotor, and looking forward to doing some awesome fall flying. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you like it, hey, give me a like. If you want to subscribe, do it, because why not? It's free. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Till next time, fly safe.